Hello there students, welcome back to this video series. This is your instructor Dhruvi Bhatt talking about interviews. In the previous lecture, we already understood what is meant by interviews and what are different types of interviews which you would be facing before and after you land that job. Here today we would discuss much more about interviews in some of our lectures so that you can crack that interview of the organization which you have always wished for. Starting firstly with different stages of interviews. What are different stages of interviews? Here you need to remember two things, students, that stages of interviews and process of interviews are two different things and both have different answers. We would be learning both of them, but please remember that stages of interviews does not mean process of interviews. These are different stages which are conducted for an interview, specifically for a job interview. First and foremost stage is appraisal of resume. Firstly, your resume is scrutinized before moving any further in the interview process. Okay, here your resume would be analyzed on different aspects. What are your previous achievements? What is your academic credentials? What are your previous experiences, etc. Here the employer would get to know whether or not you are a suitable candidate for the said job. That is why, this being the first step in an interview, it is your responsibility that your resume is very best for the said job. I would recommend that make a different resume for each different job you apply for, focusing on the skills which are required in that particular job. Also, do not forget to enclose a cover letter or a letter of recommendation from some of your previous employees along with your resume so that the organization gets to know your sincerity in achieving this particular job. These little points will make you stand apart from the remaining crowd. The second stage in interview is different types of tests. There can be different tests which are conducted by the organization. First of which is an aptitude test. What is meant by an aptitude test? Aptitude tests have different questions which test your knowledge in mathematics and different subjects which you would have studied till 10th standard. Obviously, it is not as easy as a simple profit and loss question, but a profit and loss question with lot more complications involved in it. So once you complete or once you go surpass these aptitude tests, you might have to face some technical tests, psychological tests, psychometric tests, etc. depending upon the type of job, depending upon the profile you have applied for. Once you go past these stages, you are one of the scrutinized candidates and you will move on to the next stage, which is group discussions. Group discussions is not mandatorily held in each and every organization, but in the organizations which require people to work more within groups and to work as a part of a team, they conduct group discussions to make sure that candidates gel together and to get to know the ability of the candidates while working in a group. Group discussions is where 8 to 12 people would be seated around a table and they would be asked to discuss about a particular topic or particular case at hand. We have discussed in huge details about group discussions in our previous video lectures. If you do not know what is meant by group discussions, please go to that lecture and check it out. Once you clear the group discussion stage, you move on to the next stage, which is presentations. Here you would be given one topic to present in front of a panel. An entire panel of judges would analyze and would judge you upon your presentation skills. Also, this stage 2 is not mandatorily held in all the organization. If the organization requires you to make frequent presentations in front of clients, in front of salespeople, in front of investors, etc., if you are being appointed for such a role, only then the presentation stage is held. But do not worry, here you need to prepare a presentation from home. You would be already given some amount of time and topic beforehand, and you would then be presenting in front of a panel. This is not an impromptu presentation, it is totally a prepared one, and that is why you have huge amount of time to prepare for the same. If you pass all these stages, you would move to the most dreaded stage of interview, which is face-to-face interviews. Here you go face-to-face with your employers, where he would be asking you different questions. They can be technical, they can be non-technical, they can dig you in and out whether you are a suitable candidate for the said profile or not. One more type of face-to-face interview, you cannot say that this is a different stage, but this is just an option for the face-to-face interview, is a video conferencing interview. If due to some reason both the parties, the employer and the employee, cannot come together face-to-face at some location, then they can indulge in an interview using a video conference, using a Skype call or any other video conferencing tools. Here the type of questions, the entire interview process is systematized and exactly like it needs to be in a face-to-face interview. The only difference being, instead of sitting face-to-face, they are sitting face-to-face separated by their computer screens. So that are video conferencing interviews. If you pass these stages, then you would move forward to the negotiation stage, where you can negotiate upon different terms and conditions, whether or not you would be paid your traveling allowance, whether or not you would be paid your home allowance, whether or not you are given a residential place to live in, whether or not your medical expenses are covered by the organization, what your salary would be, what would be your on-hand salary, what is the security deposit, etc. All the terms, roles, responsibilities and final aspect for which you are doing this job are discussed here in the negotiation stage. If you pass out the negotiation, finally, some of the organizations want their employees to go for medical tests. Again, this is not compulsorily held in each and every organization, but some organizations where fitness of the employees is of much importance, like for a gym instructor, like for a person who has to do very high amount of physical labor or work, for them medical tests are must. Many of the organizations tell their employees to go through medical tests because they provide them mediclaims to make sure that what is the sum of amount that their candidate can be insured with, that candidate has to go through some medical tests before getting hired. Once you pass all these stages with flying colors, congratulations, you are hired and you pass the entire stages of interviews very nicely. Out of all these stages, students, the most important one, the most crucial one is face-to-face interview. The remaining stages were ideally more technical in nature, which were dependent upon your previous knowledge, upon your academic studies, etc. But here is where you can make a difference. If you have reached until face-to-face interviews, you are better than 80% of the candidates who have applied together with you. The next step is only to pass that 20%, and you can make that difference in face-to-face interviews. Here is your chance to impress your employers and to get that job, to nail it. How can you do so? Do not worry, I am here to tell you. What are the skills that all the employers are looking for? Ma'am, what should we be prepared for? Exactly what they are looking for. I would give you a list of some of the skills which your employers would be looking for and which you must possess, or at least showcase that you are possessing them. The first skill which they are looking for is obviously technical skills, because you are going there, you must be technically very sound for whatever type of job you are going. For example, if you are applying for a Java developer, you must be very sound in Java, you must be knowing all the jargons, you must be knowing how to create a website, how to create an application, you must be knowing everything, each and every technical aspect of that particular job. Only then you can go there, you stand a chance of getting that job. That is why the first skill in any particular job is obviously technical skill. You must be having the technical know-how of that particular job. Okay, moving further, they are also looking for analytical skills in you. They want you to be analytically very sound and to analyze any situation in depth and to find a solution to the soonest possible. For scrutinizing your analytical skills, they might give you a scenario, a problem, and you would be asked to solve this problem within a stipulated time. They want to check that how you perform under pressure, how you showcase your analytical skills, and how easily and nicely you can solve any problems at hand within the organizations. So analytical skills are something they are looking for. The next skill they are looking for is maximizing your mental agility. What is meant by mental agility? Mental agility is your ability to learn new things. Obviously, the employers do not expect you to be some super god and do not expect you to know everything and anything. No one can know everything. Everyone is in a learning phase. Even at 90 years, you would be in a learning phase. You are in learning phase. I am in learning phase. Every one of us is constantly in learning phase, and employers are well aware of that. So they do not want you to know everything. They want your readiness to learn everything. They want to see that how quickly you can grasp things, how easily you can get to know things, and how easily you can learn new things which are taught to you. So they want your readiness to learn and your mental agility, which is ability to learn perfectly, nicely, and in less amount of time. Moving forward, the next skill they are looking for is your interpersonal skills. How you behave with other people around, how you behave with your other team members, how you behave with strangers, what is your behavior towards your employer. This matters a lot. Everyone wants a good individual as their employee, and they want a team player, a good leader. They want you to be very nice in your interpersonal skills in dealing with other people, because obviously at the end of the day you need to work with lot of amount of people and you must be good to them. Moving forward, they would be looking about your professional aspect, how nicely you can keep your professional and personal lives apart, how professional you are and how dedicated to work you are, how you can make sure that you achieve goals and objectives of the organization. All these things would be looked upon. One more skill they want to check is your career objective. Students, this is the first line in any resume where you need to mention that what is your career objective. At the end of some years, 5 years, 10 years, where do you want to see yourself? How you see yourself growing throughout your career. What are your goals, your objectives, and how this particular organization for which you have applied will help you climb this ladder towards your ultimate goal. This is what your employers want to know. That is why be very clear and very precise while mentioning your career objective. Do not be haphazard in writing anything here, because if you are applying for a job of a Java developer and you have written in your career objective that you want to be a successful guitarist one day, it wouldn't match. It wouldn't be understood by the employers. Make sure you give a good thought to it before writing or mentioning your career objective. Obviously, employers want people who are more focused and who have a definite goal, and the organization for which you have applied for, that must be a part of that growth. Only then they would get to know your intention and sincerity towards this organization. Moving forward, they would require your communication skills. Obviously, the subject is about that, and the subject is because you get to learn the communication skills for your dreaded interview. That is why these skills are the must. Your listening ability, your speaking ability, your ability to make sure that receiver understands whatever you are trying to convey. All the sync of your verbal and non-verbal cues is what they are looking for. Moving forward, they want to check your creativity. How creative are you? and how creatively you can bring appropriate changes, appropriate innovations in the organization. This is what they want to find. They can ask you some questions to check your creativity. The questions like, can you sell me this pen? The questions like, what will you do if you are sitting in a dark room alone and there is no one around? Different questions to check your creativity. They do not want a correct answer. They just want to identify how creatively you answer and what type of person you are. Okay, moving forward, they are looking for people who are flexible and adaptable. Every one of us know that work environments are changing rapidly due to different reasons, due to globalization, due to different pandemic situations. Each day is bringing something new, and employers want a workforce which are quickly adaptable to any type of changes thrown at their face. They want that people who are working with them are so flexible that they can face any challenges given to them, and they can constantly surpass the tests of changing environments. Okay, so they would want to hire people who are flexible with different things like changes in the work environment, changes in the workplace, changes in the city of work, changes in the shifts of work, etc. They would like people who are more adaptable to change and who are more flexible with the change. Moving forward, they like the people having leadership skills. You would have guessed here that the next skill they are looking for is leadership skills. Who wouldn't like a leader? They want a person who leads the entire workforce towards the ultimate goal of the organization, and they want you to be that leader. So they are also looking for a person who has appropriate leadership skills and who can give new direction to the organization. One more skill which they are looking for is your determination towards success. How determined you are towards achieving your goals and goals of the organization. If you do not have any goals of your own, and if you do not know your career objective, then you cannot be determined towards nothing. That is why I told you career objective plays a huge role here, and you must be having a very precise career objective and determination to fulfill that objective. Determination to fulfill what the organization's objectives are. You must be determined to achieve success. That is what they want. Also, they want you to have honesty as well as integrity. Many of the organizations sign an integrity bond with the employees to make sure that whatever information is discussed inside the organization is private and it is not leaked to the competitors, to others who are thinking ill of your particular organization. They can give you different situations to analyze your skill of integrity. They will give you different case studies and they will ask you what you would do if this type of case happens with you, and they would check up your integrity before hiring you. One more skill which they require is people with I can do attitude. Who would want a pessimistic employee? They want employees who will convert the I can'ts into I can. They want people who are so determined and who are like that spider who never gave up. They want people who never give up and who can work in different types of environments. Lastly, they want people with very good social skills, who are socially acceptable and are having skills to impress everyone in the society or in the social background. This is very much similar to the interpersonal skills, how people behave and what norms they follow in particular society. Okay students, that was all about different skills today. Thank you so much for such patiently listening to me. This is Dhruvi Bhatt signing off. Until next time, bye-bye.